If you're on a real estate team right now and something feels off, the economics don't add up the way they used to, the autonomy you were promised never showed up, you've quietly begun to realize you're building someone else's brand with all of your effort. This video is for you. I'm Steve Benasiak, a broker on the Treasure Coast, and I've coached dozens of agents through this exact decision. Thriving solo businesses even build and start their own successful teams. Today, I want to give you the framework I use when an agent sits down with me and says, I think it might be time to leave. First, you join a team for a reason. Maybe you were new and needed structure. Maybe you wanted leads. Maybe the team leader painted a compelling picture of a mentorship and growth. And for a while, it worked. Here you are, and something has shifted. That's not a sign that something is wrong with you. It's usually a sign that you've grown. There are 4 common patterns I see when agents start having this very conversation. First off, the economics stop making sense. This is the most common trigger. When you were doing 5 deals a year, a 50-50 split felt fair. You were learning, you were getting leads, and the math worked. Now you're producing significantly more, and you're still contributing 50% back to the team, plus maybe another 10 to 15% to the broker in cap fee. Your actual take home is a fraction of what your GCI should support. I coached an agent through this exact situation. She was producing at a very high level, working hard, but built someone else's brand and giving up the majority of her income in stacked splits. She also had a passion for a niche market that her team would not let her pursue. She made the move. She built her own solo brand around that very niche and grew her GCI past $200,000 a year. The talent was always there. The structure was what held her back. That's not a failure of effort. That's a structural problem. Number 2, you've outgrown the structure. Teams create consistency through systems and oversight, valuable when you need it. But there comes a point where oversight becomes restriction. Decisions about your brand, your marketing, your client experience, but you can't because the team has a uniform approach. What felt like support in year 1 now feels like a ceiling in year 3. If you're experienced enough to run your own business, but still operating inside someone else's playbook, you're going to feel that friction each and every day. Culture misalignment. Culture issues are harder to actually quantify, but just as real. Maybe the team leader's values have drifted. Maybe there's internal competition that doesn't feel healthy. Maybe the leadership style has changed, or maybe you've changed and it no longer fits. Cultural misalignment creates a slow drain. You don't wake up one day and decide to leave. It builds over months until that gap becomes impossible to ignore. Growth path, renting versus building. This catches agents off guard. You assume the team would create a growth path, lead a division, start your own team, move into leadership. But 2 to 3 years in, there's no conversation about it, no plan, no progression, just another year of producing at the same level inside the same box. If your current situation doesn't give you a visible path to what comes next, you're renting your career, not building it. The one question that tells if you're ready to make the move. Recognizing that something isn't working is step 1. But leaving a team is a business decision, not an emotional one. Before you move, you need an honest answer to one question. If I left tomorrow, would I have the system, skills, and database to sustain my production on my own? So let's break it down. Your database. Do you own your contact list, your sphere, your past clients, leads you've generated independently? Or does the team own your pipeline? Your brand. Do people know you personally or only your team's brand, your system? Can you run lead follow-up, transaction management, and marketing on your own? Your skills? Can you generate your own business? Not just work leads that were handed to you. If yes is your answer to most, then you're most likely ready. The move is about finding the right environment. If no to several of these, that's not a reason to stay forever, but it's a reason to build a transition plan. Give yourself 60 to 90 days. Build the bridge before you leave the one you're on. So what would you look for next? If timing is right, here's what to evaluate. First, ownership. You should own your brand, your database, your relationships. Everything you build should come with you. Second, coaching that meets you where you are. No generic onboarding, specific plans for your situation. I've helped dozens through this. Some built solo practices around niche markets, others built their own successful teams. Third, economics that reward production. Understand the full picture. Split, cap, all the fees. Run the math on your actual volume. Fourth, an integrated tech stack. Don't spend $300 to $500 rebuilding what your team provided. Fifth, a path forward. Teams, ownership, exit strategy. Does this brokerage offer progression? If not, you're trading one ceiling for another. How to leave professionally. The Treasure Coast community is small. How you leave matters. Give proper notice. Check your agreement for obligation. Notice periods, non-competes. Take what's yours. Leave what isn't. Personal contacts are yours. Team systems and databases generally are not. Maintain a relationship. Your team leader may have been a great mentor. Leave on professional terms. Have your next step lined up before you give your notice. Seamless transition for your active clients. At LYNQ, we work with agents making this transition. Coaching specific to your situation, integrated tech, economics designed for producing agents. If you're working through this decision, I'd be happy to be a sounding board. A 15-minute growth strategy session, no pitch, just an honest, authentic conversation. The link's in the description. Thanks for watching. Share this with an agent who needs to hear it, and I'll see you on the next one.